Hello and welcome to iBluAirJgR Gaming for Comedy. These are Supernova gameplay basics about laning, jungling, and force management. Once you strip away the bits of styling that make Supernova a unique and interesting game, you're left with a very familiar feeling gameplay experience. Supernova is a MOBA, and like all other MOBAs, it has lanes on which your minions wage war, a jungle for skilled fighters to explore and conquer, and a way for those elements to be used to your advantage. First, let's talk about the jungle. It's not a place for every commander to venture in alone, but for the right one, someone with decent health sustain, it's a temporary home that will aid your teammates in several ways. Much like in other MOBAs, the jungle areas of the map are shrouded by the fog of war, which means enemy players won't know where you are or when you're going to ambush or gank them. Additionally, the jungle has 4 large groupings of enemies or camps that will grant your entire team bonus attributes when killed and captured, regardless of how far away from the objective they are at the time it's captured. The ability to gank with little or no warning and the provision of bonus attributes are what makes jungling valuable in Supernova. Jungling isn't without its risks though. Because you're roaming around, one of your teammates is potentially fending off 2 commanders and their forces alone, and this can be a difficult task, especially if your foes aren't performing well. As a jungler in Supernova, it's vitally important for your forces to be managed well. This means periodically checking to see what units your lane opponent is constructing and countering them. This is an important aspect of Supernova in general, but it becomes more important if you're planning on being absent from your lane often. Okay, now let's talk about the lanes and the laning phase. Every match in every single MOBA begins with all players battling it out for control over the lanes. If you're playing as a jungler, it's your job to pay attention to your lane and everyone else's. Remember, because you're in the jungle, your lane mate is fighting alone and will need help depending on who he's matched with. In addition to that, you can disrupt an otherwise uneventful laning phase by popping in to a different lane and poking an enemy. Poking. What is poking? That's when you go in, give him a nice little love tap, and then you just go back into the jungle. But seriously, once the laning phase is finished, usually after a few enemy or allied towers have been destroyed, it's time for you to be wherever the battle needs you. And there you have it. That's jungling, laning, and forces. Supernova is a very complex game, and all of these little elements come together in a very serious way to create a very meta gaming experience. And we're going to get to all of it eventually. Eventually, we're going to talk about every single little tiny detail that makes this game really cool for anybody that likes to min-max.